Hey, to the two people that are here. Thank you for joining me. Um, Before we get into some fun, Obi's putting the kids down, so he's going to be a little bit late. And before we get into doing some fun things, I put a post on Instagram a little bit earlier. So I live in northern Macomb County, Michigan. Hey, Trapper. Hey, Umpty. Um, and probably 15 minutes maybe away from me is Oxford. And if you saw any sort of national news today, there was a mass shooting at that high school today. And they've kind of changed the numbers since I first put that post on, and 3 young people lost their lives today. It was, I think, a 17-year-old boy, a 14-year-old girl, or a 16-year-old boy, 14-year-old girl, and a 17-year-old girl. Hey, Nadia. And there were 8 other people that were shot. 6 are in stable condition, 2 are in surgery. And I don't want to make this a political thing, because everybody's got their own views on this. I will say that this happens far too often in our country. And I think what scares me the most is that I have nieces and nephews. You guys have children that are, these ages where emotions run high. And, my nephew is absolutely brilliant. And I don't know if Nolan's watching or not, but Nolan's one of the smartest kids I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not just saying that because he's my nephew. The kid is super intelligent. And I think he sometimes gets picked on because he's so smart. And, back when I was in high school, we didn't have social media. YouTube was kind of just coming around. We didn't have Instagram. Facebook wasn't a thing until I was in college. And so it was much harder for things to happen where it would really wear on people. I've made jokes about my own public humiliation when I fell down the middle of the road and had to crawl across. Sorry, I'm having trouble talking. Growing up, I was always, taller than everyone. So I got picked on a lot because I was so tall and I didn't get asked to dances and things like that. And rather than dwell on it, I can remember when I was a sophomore in high school, we went to Myrtle Beach for spring break, and we went to a teenage dance club, and I was the only girl out of our group that didn't get asked to dance. And I went outside and I cried, and it was that night that I decided that I could either stay that person or I could recreate myself. And I used to be very, very shy. I wouldn't even sing songs in the cars with my friends and things like that. And I decided to change myself, be more outgoing. Hey, Foxy. And at that point is when I started making more friends. And I because I was taller, I made that a thing. I would pat people on top of their head and call them by their last name. And I came out of my shell. And I probably should have known then, almost 30 years ago, that I would end up being the person that I am today. But at the time I didn't know. I just knew I was struggling with being a teenager. And I know that it's very hard. This area of Michigan that we're in and where Oxford is very, very rural, if you will. Oxford is close to a major highway, but roughly the same size as the Romeo, Washington area. Our high schools have always been rivals, especially in football. When I was in high school, Oxford and we were rivals in volleyball, and I've played at that high school. numerous times. It's a huge. I mean, it's a really big high school. Um, I have coached young people at that high school. Hey Tats, hey Christina. Um, and as I put in my post, our family vet is for the dogs is in Oxford. We go to Oxford quite a bit for the restaurants. One of the very first dates that I went on with Lisa was in Oxford, and um, the staging area that they had for the kids, which is because Meyer, which is like a big, huge grocery store chain, kind of all inclusive clothing, all that kind of stuff. Uh, it was adjacent, and that was the staging area, and I can't even count on two hands how many times we've stopped there. When we were going up north, we stop at the gas station and get snacks because I usually haven't eaten, and Lisa knows better than to take me traveling when I haven't eaten. So it's just today hit very close to home, and I was talking to some of the girls earlier, and I was crying. And I guess the scary part is talking to my family. My brother said his friends' kids go to that high school. We don't know if they're okay. We think our vet, who I've known him since he was in college, his daughter might have been there. We don't know if she's okay. It's a tragedy because of the fact that these kids never, they're never going to walk down the aisle. They're never going to have children of their own. Um, and it's not just the 3 that died. It's the 8 that were wounded, and it's the hundreds of other kids that witnessed all of this whose lives are now changed. And so all I want to do is send prayers out to the Oxford community, the Oxford high school community, all the students that are there, and especially to the families of the children that lost their lives. They're supposed to give an update around 10 o'clock. We're hoping that that no other loss of life occurs. And the shooter is a 15-year-old boy, and this just needs to stop. I mean, it really does. It's this just hit way too close to home. It's all over CNN. This sleepy little area that we have is going to be overrun with reporters and people trying to figure out why and what do we do, and you're going to have both sides of the fence, and we need stricter laws, or this is why we need to have teachers to arm themselves and everything else. And it's going to get very political, and you know what, it's going to be all over the cover of People magazine, and someday they're going to do a TV movie about this kid and what happened here, and it's all going to get sensationalized instead of going back to the root of the matter, which is that people lost their lives today, and it needs to stop. I mean, I don't know what we as a country can do to listen to our youth and try and prepare them better to handle this social diversity that and adversity, I should say, social adversity that is happening. I mean, it happens even with us on YouTube. I mean, you've seen it happen throughout the community in the past several years. And I think what bothers me most is like, I worry that if it can happen there, then it can happen anywhere. And the littles are growing now, and Nolan's already 10, and I don't ever want him to be in that situation. I don't think parents should have to be scared to send their kids to school. So anyway, I just want to have a moment of silence for the lives lost and the lives that are forever altered. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. Obi is coming. We're gonna get to dad hacks in a few minutes. And in the meantime, I'm supposed to be doing a snack crate with Rachel's kids. Rachel is my former coworker. give you a little update on Dad. Dad came through his procedure. The doctor said that in about a month he probably would have had a massive heart attack. So there are those God winks moments when fortunately they found it before anything happened and were able to correct it. So Dad, we ended up having a family Thanksgiving on Saturday. Horrible weather here, so my uncle didn't get to come. Sorry, Uncle Jeff, he didn't get to come. But it was nice to be with the family, with the littles, and enjoying some family time together this year that we didn't get to have last year. So that was great. My last day of work, I ended up going back in on Friday, but it just to wrap some things up, clean up my office and stuff like that. So this week I'll be starting a new career and new opportunities, new possibilities, and so I'm excited about that. I've been adulting today and yesterday. Lisa's still in quarantine, and so I've been adulting. So I haven't gotten to this yet, but I'm hoping that I'm going to put the tree over here and maybe adjust this so it'll be in the shot, my Christmas tree. I have to go up to the farm and get it because we did Christmas up at the farm last year. So I have to go up and get my tree, but and kind of clean that up. So I've been working on that, and then hopefully gonna be able to host. And I mean, it's like running around and trying to be 900 places at once, especially in the summertime, and so I've let some things go. A couple of announcements is starting. Is it tomorrow? I think it's starting tomorrow, isn't it? Is tomorrow December 1st? Yeah, tomorrow's December 1st. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to be doing shorts every day. So I'll be opening something out of here. And then I've got the cookie book, which is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a short, and then I'm going to show you guys, and give you guys a recipe every day of our favorites that we do each year. You can see we got pictures and little Nolan. Nolan's always been a great help. We're actually doing cookies this weekend. So anybody who shows up tonight, we'll put your names on if you guys are interested. I'm going to do a small little cookie tin of all of our stuff to send out to you guys. If you guys, I'll put up a post after. Let's do it this way. I'll put up a post after this. If you're interested in the giveaway, we'll do that, and then I'll run it next Tuesday because by that time we'll have everything packaged and ready to go and know how many to do. Basically, it takes up my mom's whole entire kitchen. We put a whole other table in the middle where you guys usually see that we got that big open area. There's a big table that goes in there, and then the entire dining room area, the formal dining room area off the kitchen. That is where we do like all the Buckeyes and the holly leaves and everything else. My cousins fight over those and want each other's. And so it gets a little crazy. And we've been looking at new stuff. Yeah. Cookies. Claim cookie tin. Fox, talk to Mom. She'll probably send you some anyway. Thanks, Mama J, for stopping in. If you can get back, that'd be awesome. So yeah, we'll be doing that. I'll be giving. I don't even know how many recipes are in here, but I'll make sure that I have 25. So there will be the cornflake. These are the cornflake wreaths. We call them holly leaves because I don't actually make them into wreaths. I get more out of them. The Buckeyes, Martha Washington. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 in here. So maybe I'll do a cookie recipe every other day. Hey Johnny, how are you, Trapper? Yeah, Buckeyes are good. So we'll do that every other day, but I'll do a short with opening something from the advent calendar that my mom got me as well. And yeah, so that'll be fun. So I'll be doing that. I've already got the first one recorded, so I know what the first item is out of there. So that's awesome. Okay. Oh, your advent calendar starts tomorrow morning on IG. Cool. You always have good ones. Chocolate covered peanut butter goodness, Caitlin. Yes, Buckeyes are amazeballs, literally. And I told Nolan that since we have to sit out there and it takes us forever to roll those, because we sit out there with this giant bowl of peanut butter and stuff that goes in the middle. We're gonna watch Goonies. So he's never seen Goonies. He's got the Goonies pops, but he doesn't know what the correlation is. So he and I are gonna watch Goonies while we're rolling Buckeyes and doing a lot of stuff out there. So we scaled it back the past couple of years. Like for a while, we were doing like 20 different kinds of cookies, and it got insane. But already got the buckets, picked those up earlier for my mom and everything else. So all right, until Obi gets here. I'm just great coming out of a bad lung infection started on Friday, but now I'm better. Well, I hope you don't have COVID. But happy that you're getting better, Johnny. So I have 2 snack crates lined up. Rachel hasn't ordered it for the kids yet. I'm concerned that they won't get New Zealand because it's been 2 months ago, and tomorrow they drop December's. So I'm gonna go ahead and do New Zealand while we're waiting on Obi. So New Zealand is the little island country off of Australia there. So we got a couple of different things in here. Let's see what we got. We've got Ripple's chicken chips. We've got Muncho's spicy tomato. Fruit and nut snack balls. We all know that I love my balls. We've got the original peanut slab. Now, I know Whittaker's, but I usually know Whittaker's for their shortbread. And then Fabulicious Sherbet Fizz. And then we've got what looks like some candies here, some fruit bursts. There's 5 of them. Lemon, lime, banana, and wild berry. So, okay. I'm weird. My favorite cookies are plain sugar cookies. I'm telling you, if you get one of our one of the tins or little boxes of cookies, you'll change your mind. I can promise you that. All right, what do you guys want to see first? I've got spicy tomato chips, chicken chips, balls, a slab, and some sherbet fizz. No, Fenway, you cannot have these. First thing I see, whoever suggests something. We got chicken chips, tomato chips, sherbet fizz, snack balls, peanut butter slab. Balls! All right, quick draw McGraw. Oh, spicy chips. Nadia came in too. All right, we'll try the balls. So let's talk about the snack balls. These little round salted caramel delights are made with cashews and shredded coconut, so you don't have to feel guilty about eating the whole bag. Well, okay. Well, I don't have to worry about sharing these with my dad because my dad hates coconut. I'm not going to lie to you. Hey, Ian, how are you? I'm not going to lie to you. You know when you open a can of Play-Doh, that smell you get? That's what this tastes like. It's getting better as I'm chewing it. Straight up, like that plasticky Play-Doh smell is what you taste. Yeah. Not the best thing I've ever eaten. Alright, so spicy chips. Try those next. Let's see what those say. Damn, I was hoping I got pineapple lumps. I didn't get any pineapple lumps. Munchos isn't any old chip. This crunchy corn snack provides a fiery flavor explosion with a perfect blend of zesty tomato and savory spices. Hey, OCD. Ryan, nice to see you. I don't remember ever eating Play-Doh. I just remember the smell of it. I'll swallow this. So they look like a churro, basically. And we got little red specks on them. Dogs can't have tomatoes. kind of tastes like a savory funnel cake. I found some Takis at the dollar store today. Are they the blue ones? Have you seen the blue Takis? I'm not getting a whole lot of... It's not spicy. There's like a savory kind of like sour flavor that comes to it. They're good. They're definitely good. You licked Play-Doh? Why would you lick Play-Doh? They're good. They taste like a savory funnel cake. I don't remember ever eating Play-Doh. I remember my brother eating Play-Doh because I shaped it to look like ice cream and he thought it was ice cream and he took a big bite out of it and it smelled like vanilla. So that was a big mistake by Play-Doh. When they made the Play-Dohs the food flavors or food smells. Oh, pretty good. I wouldn't crave them. Well, if not now. All right, we got chicken chips. We got sherbet fizz. We got the peanut slab. And I've got fruit bursts. What do you guys want to see next? I still have 2 birth control left too. Save the fizz for last. Okay, well that doesn't help. I licked, smelled clay, tutti frutti. Slam the nuts. This one, the peanut slab. Quick Draw's all about the balls and the nuts. Now this is basically Mexican fun dip. They say it's candy, but the dip is chili pepper powder. Hi, buddy.
Well, hello.
I'm just finishing. You got them to bed like right on time. You said about 20 minutes. So
yeah, I mean, you put them to sleep and they go.
What kids ever go to bed when their parents say? I mean, if you do, then yes, I really need you on the show because we never went to bed. Holy crap! This is like a giant block of chocolate. It's like a solid block. I don't even know.
Oh, yummy!
Break this. I did. To me, it looks like a Mr. Goodbar. So I'm eating from New Zealand while I was waiting on you. Peanut Slab, a Kiwi favorite since 1896. This rich milk chocolate bar is generously filled with roasted peanuts, making it the perfect late night indulgence.
Yummers. Let me see if I can keep up with chat.
Hey, Christina, what's up? Old bacon eater. I love it. That's the best part of your name is that you can literally put anything behind the O, the B, and the E.
Exactly. Except it's I'm gonna run into a duplicate. Like once I get to like my 1 year, I'm gonna go do like a compilation of all the names.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be. I don't think I've duplicated any yet. Even though the kids are like, you should do this one. Like their favorite one is Oval Ball Edna Mode. Which is one that you're gonna do the O, you're gonna do the B, you're gonna do the E, and of course, the chaos that ensues with that.
Well, that does straight up taste like a Mr. Goodbar. So chocolate peanuts, straight up, nothing else to it. It's not. This is hard as a rock. We'll see how this is. Bite down on this chewy lolly to experience a burst of fruity flavors like banana, strawberry, wild berry, orange, and lemon nut. Can't bite down. It's like hard as a rock.
Is it because of the cold or?
Oh, it's been in the house. It's just hard.
Huh. That's not good.
Okay, I might have to use it like a lolly because it definitely can't bite that. All right. That was an epic failure.
Save your teeth.
It's kind of like, when, like Bit of Honeys? You know how they're super hard and then maybe as they warm up, they get a little bit softer?
Mm-hmm.
These are the chicken chips. Etta Ripples. Made
Chicken
with
chip.
New Zealand grown potatoes. This ultra crunchy snack features a perfect blend of fresh herbs and savory chicken season. And it straight up smells like a roasted chicken.
But does it taste like a roasted chicken?
That was the weirdest thing ever. Hi, Mrs. Obi. Hi, Pain.
No.
They come in a 3-pack, so I'm getting a pack. Ooh. Obi, my dad was showing off, or Obi. Umpty, my dad was showing off your Chuck Tot stickers to me yesterday. He was all excited. The chicken crackers. Oh, like chicken and biscuit? These are different. If you guys have ever been to Boston Market?
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like. Like a Boston Market roasted chicken.
I have a funny story about Boston Market.
Ooh, do tell.
So I grew up, and my grandma would make, like, every single Sunday we were there after mass, we would go and we would have she would make like a homemade spinach quiche. So growing up, I was like, spinach is great. Like it tastes really good. And we went to Boston Market and we got some cream spinach. My sister and I are like, it's spinach, it's good. And that was gross. It was like, it wasn't warmed up. It was just like gelatinous. It was gross.
When they first started, we used to go there. Like when they first opened, we used to go there a lot because it was like a cheap, semi-healthy meal when we were in high school and stuff. And the stuffing was really super good. They've changed the recipe on that. The macaroni and cheese was super good. They've changed the recipe on that. So I usually get like the quarter white chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy and corn. Like that's like my staple when I go there now. I used to get the cinnamon apples and then they changed those as well. And I don't know. Oddish Bulbasaur Eevee. That's what Naughty's calling you.
one of these days.
Last one. The Fabulicious Sherbet Fizz. 2 serves. It's zippy citrus flavor. Oh, Jesus, Fenway, you scared me. I saw something move below me. Let me show you this. Tasty and chewy candy cubes are an ideal way to satisfy your craving for both licorice and sherbet. Oh.
Is that like a cowtail?
So yeah, it's like a fruit flavored cowtail, I think. It's got cream in the middle. That's what she said. It's tangy. It's kind of floral. Did I jump? Because I mean, literally, I saw like a shadow of something move, and I went. Do it again, Fenway. She's been excited that I've been home the past couple of days.
Hi.
You say hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Umpty insisted I put her on the new sticker, so she made the Christmas sticker.
Nice.
Kind of gets you right here. You know, like when you get that sour kind of right there. Fenway, everybody's saying hi. And no, don't do it again. It's pretty good. This is something that I might actually buy again. So I have you here. I know it might be for a short amount of time. And we've been planning this for a while. So I want to talk dad hacks. So you've got, I don't have any kids. But, Lisa's got her granddaughter and I have the littles. So I learned a little bit. I looked at the camera. Hey, Bobbert. So I know there's things that you guys as parents do. The first kid is always like the test run. I was the first kid. And, as you add more, so as my brothers came along, there were obviously things that my parents did, my dad did, especially when my mom was out of town, that he did to keep us under control or, keep us in line or make us, have a good time too when mom was gone because everybody's missing mom when she leaves. Hey, Thomas Chavis, how are you? So I found a website and we'll see, Obi, if you've ever done any of these.
Okay.
Some of these are brilliant. This is something I see my brother doing.
If not, I'll take notes.
Some of these are brilliant. I mean, absolutely brilliant. So this is 21 dad hacks that are hilariously genius. So the first one, this is something I can see my brother doing. Using a
Yep.
rope to swing your kid while having a refreshing beverage.
Yep. Or another thing is you have more kids, and then you sit back there and you enjoy your refreshing beverage, and the other kids push the smaller kids.
That's true. Adam and
That's if
I are only 3 years apart. So
that's if it works properly. Other times, you'd have one pushing the other one out of the swing, and then you don't get to enjoy your drink. But I I have done something similar to this. Yes.
really,
Yes.
I saw something, and maybe it's down the list. I haven't looked at all of these, but I also saw a dad. He was trying to teach his kid how to hit a baseball, and he hooked a fishing line to the ball so that he didn't have to get up and retrieve it or run around or anything. He would just reel the ball back in. The kid would put it back on the stand and hit again. I was
Yep.
like, that is just absolutely brilliant.
And with I've done that with the littles as well. When you go throw the ball, like when they're learning to walk, like put them
Mm-hmm.
in the backyard and just reel it out there, and then just they bring it right back to you.
Now, my parents didn't do this, but I will admit that my brothers and I did this. Um, when we lived in North Carolina, our stairs were our two bedrooms were upstairs. The boys were in one room. I had my own, and our stairs went right down into a parquet floor, wooden floor,
Oh,
and then there was
jeez.
2 steps down into the living room area.
Mm,
So it was straight up like Home Alone. We put the laundry baskets on the stairs. Sleeping bags, the silky sleeping bags that you could get back in the 60s and 70s, 80s, and 90s.
yeah.
And only a dad hack I know is going out for a pack of smokes and never come back. Aw. But we did this quite a bit, where we would do this and set it up so that we had a slide. Have you ever done this?
I have not. I grew up in a single floor house, so the thought of stairs scares me. But every single house that we've lived in since we've had kids have had stairs. Um, I have not done this. However, there is we have a park near us that has not asphalt. There's asphalt everywhere. AstroTurf,
Yeah.
and it's like a big hill. And kids slide down there. I was like, well, why don't we just bring cardboard? Because I got enough cardboard. There's a whole mountain of cardboard like right over there, just from unpacking. And I was like, let's just tear up like a wardrobe box and do the same thing. And they just use that as like a sled.
Well, that's cool.
And then we got a nasty letter that said, make sure that there's no staples in the because we just left it there, and apparently a kid like put their hand in there, got a staple in their hand. And they're like, make sure that cardboard has no staples. I was like, oops. Well,
I
you
wouldn't even have
learn.
thought about that either.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's true. Kids love playing with boxes more than they actually like the toy that's in the box.
it is true. It is true.
I mean, forts and everything. My dad used to help us cut windows into the forts, and we had one for several weeks, and we drew all over the outside of it and everything else, and the inside. And we had rocket ships and all kinds of cool jazz that my dad would make out of cardboard. He
This,
never helped us make a slide. In fact, we have a 5-year rule, so if my parents are watching, anything that's said tonight is under the 5-year rule. Now, one of the things, do you remember the big wheels? I think they've
yep.
come back out with them.
Yep.
So inevitably, after you're driving for a while and you're sliding them and everything else, you always got that flat spot on the front tire.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like you could run out and get a new one. You'd have to buy a whole new big wheel.
Yeah.
So what my dad would do is take the back wheels off, 2 of them, and he would build a wooden frame and then attach those wheels to the wooden frame. And then just attach a rope so we could steer the front. And he would take the seats off the big wheels too and attach them to the frame, this new wooden frame. So we had someplace to sit. And then basically we would steer with this rope kind of a thing. And we would just ghost down this hill, this paved hill out at our house in North Carolina. And it was awesome until we realized a couple of times that we couldn't stop. And there were some epic rollover chain reaction accidents. We did this one year, but my son went through the wall at the bottom. Oh no! So then he got to putting another piece of wood on the side that we could just pull up on, and it would kind of slow us down. As kind of a handbrake kind of a thing. But it was great. I mean, my dad came up with all kinds of crazy things like that he would do. So we built that. Now, the one thing that my dad might get in trouble for is when my mom was out of town. She probably knows this by now because it's been 30 plus years. But when my mom would go out of town, my dad's favorite thing to do was he would take us up to the convenience store. We would get chili dogs, one candy bar, and a bag of chips each, and a slush puppy. And he would allow us to watch movies that we weren't supposed to watch. So like we watched Predator and all that kind of stuff. And my mom would like, it was great. I mean, Mom, I love you, but when you went out of town, we had the most fun with Dad.
That's good
Most
memories
fun.
for Dad.
Oh yeah. All right, let's see what the next one is. Now, this is something that I wish my parents would have done. So this is the make your kids get along in a very close way. So what they did was you can see these kids are not happy to be in this shirt. It is our get along shirt. Now, obviously you got kids that are close in age and everything else. So is this anything that you've ever considered doing? Or how do you get around the dad hack way of getting them to get along when they're arguing?
We have a laundry basket, and they sit in the laundry basket together until they can get along.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when they outgrow the laundry basket?
Maybe a shirt.
Maybe a shirt. There you go.
That's a brilliant idea, because there's oftentimes that two kids are kind of the alpha dogs, and then the one that's a twin is just kind of like, listen, he's very much like a mini me. He's like, listen, I just want to keep peace. Like, whatever you guys do. Like, we're like, what show do you want to watch? She's like, whatever you guys want to watch. I just want to watch a show.
Yeah, I just want to watch TV. You guys pick. I'm not even getting in the middle of this.
Yeah.
Now, like, because they all have different tastes and likes and dislikes. So, with the littles that I have, my nephew and my nieces, no one will eat anything. Since he was a kid, my sister-in-law and my brother were very much like, you are going to try it, at least try it. If you don't like it, fine, but you're going to at least try it.
Yep.
And so no one eats anything. The kid will eat sushi. I mean, he eats everything. And then my niece came along, and my niece is like super picky, but she gets away with it. Love you, Nora, but you get away with it. And she only eats certain things, and so we have to like kind of cater or get different things that so she'll eat and everything else. And then you've got Kendall, who's just now starting to eat solid foods. And Kendall's not so much that she won't try. She likes like ham, and she liked the turkey the other day and everything else. But her problem is, don't tell me when I'm supposed to be in my chair. I want to be out of my chair, and then I will eat. So if you put me in the chair, I'm going to throw it all over the floor. But if I'm out of the chair and I can do it my way, I will inhale everything that you put in front of me. So how do you handle with the kids, having different tastes, and one wants pizza and then they're going to fight because the other one wants tacos? And
I mean, we have very much the it's 8, 5, and 2, 8, 5, 5, and 2. We have, listen, this is the one meal you're getting, and if you don't want it, you can happily go without. And I mean, a lot of kids often will say, hey, if it's choice between no food and food, I'm gonna need food in my tummy. So I mean, there's ways that, like, one of their favorite meals is mac and cheese, and what we do, we have a NutriBullet, and you blend together some vegetables in there, and especially you need to have carrots, because carrots give it a nice orange color.
mm-hmm.
So if you mix it in with the cheese and the cheese and the sauce at the end, it looks just like regular ones. But what we found, when they had like pieces and chunks, they're like, oh, like they'll eat around it, and then you have a whole plate of vegetables. But if you blend it together, it's like it's just different. And then sometimes if it's green, we're like, oh, well, it's for St. Patrick's Day.
It's for St. Patrick's. Hey, look, we're being creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I remember we complained so much when we were kids that my mom ended up buying us a kid's cookbook, and then each one of us had to pick a menu, and we had to cook for the family. So I don't know why, because I don't even like cooked tomatoes, but I chose stuffed tomatoes, and I think it's because I thought the presentation looked cool, and it had like cottage cheese and stuff in it. And then I made homemade tortillas that I pressed myself. I mean, none of it went together. It was not like a cohesive dinner whatsoever, but it was fun to be able to do that. And then now that I've gotten older, like, it's like the important tradition things that I stick to now, with my mom when we cook and stuff like that. But this is kind of where that grew from. Like, that's my first memories of my mom, like, making us cook ourselves dinner so we would stop complaining and realize how hard it is to actually, put together a dinner that you hope people will like. But,
Yeah.
Nolan cooks all the time, so I never have to worry about him. Nora will help do cookies, but that's not really her thing. And then we'll see what Kendall does. But Kendall's going to be my athlete. I'm just calling that now.
Nice.
All right, the next one is multi-purpose baby clothes. They rock.
Oh.
Now, this is something I could see you doing, and that's why I laughed, and that's why I picked this one, because this is something I could see you doing, is putting this on the 2-year-old, so if there's any tantrums or everything, they're flailing around, at least they're cleaning the floor while they're going at it.
Yeah, that would make sense. We have not done this yet, but we also don't have many tantrums.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, we say we sit down and we say, "Listen, child, you are not going to have a tantrum. You are not getting your way." And they say, "Oh, father, I agree with your methods."
Oh, yeah, is that how it works?
That's exactly how it works. Or at
Oh,
least in
yeah,
my
because
brain.
Kendall's straight up scorpions, like, straight out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's several times that, like, the 3 big kids are like, "Can you carry us downstairs?" I'm like, "Yeah, yes, but no, because you guys are just going to be dead weight. And that's,
Wait.
you guys are getting heavy."
Some Karen would call this child labor. I know, and that's the problem, Caitlin, is that people just don't see the humor in anything anymore. I thought this was brilliant. Like, I would love to do this. Like, literally, Kendall, if she doesn't want to go in her chair or get, change her clothes or even her diaper or whatever, she goes full on scorpion, arches her back, stiff as a board like this. And I'm just thinking, put the kid on the ground, strap one of these onto her, and just let her go. At least she's cleaning the floor. She's making it happen while she's there. If she's in the living room, put some dustbusters on her or something so she can.
We did have somebody use that with the Swiffers. They when the baby would do like the side scoot kind of thing.
Yeah.
I put her on their bum and just scoot. There was like a line of like, no.
Now I'm hoping this is one of those funny packages, but I thought this was humorous because this is something I can see my brother doing. None of them are on the bottle anymore, really. So, but this I thought was funny. I was like, well, that's kind of brilliant. It's like a hamster. They just go up there and lick that little metal ball at the end and get the milk in there. Except those things drip all the time, so that would just be a nasty mess.
They do.
Yeah.
I have taken. I had a bungee cord, and we would take that when they were in the car seats. I like jerry rigged it so it's like right in front of them. So all they would need to do is like reach out and like pull it to their mouths. Because especially we learned a lot of hacks with 2. Because with 1, it's like, well, I'm going to deal with this one, you could deal with that one, or if mom's in the store, I just have 1 to look after. When there's
right.
2, they like both need your attention. You're like, you be creative.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine like these people that have like 6, 7, 8, and I know that like churches and the community and stuff helps them out. But I mean, can you imagine? Like, you're basically every minute of the day you're changing a diaper or feeding a bottle because they're all going to get hungry at different times. They're all going to poop at different times.
Yep.
Hamsters would be less expensive than a kid. I agree. That's why I got a hamster. She passed away, but that's why I had a hamster and instead of a kid.
Hi, Nancy.
Hey, Nancy. Yeah. For gaming dads, I just give them the controllers that are not hooked up and play like this for hours.
Yep, we've done that. We introduced the big kids to the Wii, and then we've limited them to like Wii Sports. So they've done like tennis and they've done baseball, just because. And they've also done Mario Kart because we have the Mario family. But yeah, the baby's like, "Can I have one?" So I have a sonic screwdriver Wii remote that the battery died on. So I'm like, "This is a special one just for you." And she goes around and she thinks that she's playing. Like, no.
Which one am I? The one that's over off the screen. My older cousins would do this to me. I kept wanting to press the buttons.
Yeah.
We used to do this to Trey all the time.
Yeah, once they get smart enough and they're like, "There's no reaction to this. Let me try one." Then they tap the next one over. No, that one's not it. Let me tap. Oh, Daddy's is the one that works. And
yeah.
Then just a pack of wolves.
Well, back in the day, it was like with the Atari and with the first Nintendo, which is what I grew up on, there were
Mm.
only two ports, controllers. And so there was constantly arguments about who was playing what and everything else, and so I think that they came out with a cordless NES controller or something, and we would hand that off to Trey and let him play that. But it was also a constant struggle of if we were angry at somebody because they were playing the game we wanted to play, it was unplugging the controllers, and then you died anyway.
Yep.
That was not the nicest thing in the world, but hey.
No. A couple years back, I got my wife the NES, the like small NES. But the ones that it came with are literally like a 5-foot cord, so you need to be like right up on the screen, like what you did when you were a kid. And I'm like, that's not how this works. So when I first bought it, she brought a couple of like bar stools and like sat 5 feet in front of the TV. And of course, the TVs are a lot bigger nowadays. She's like, these graphics are awful. It's like, yeah, but it's nostalgia.
You know what I'm mad at myself for is I didn't keep one of the old like big deep TVs so that I could still play Duck Hunt, because the Duck Hunt doesn't work very well on the flat screens at all. I don't know why, but it seems to like shoot off, and I've used it on really really old TVs and it works fine. And then when I get on like the because I have like a 60-inch in my living room, and when I try and shoot on that, it like shoots like 6 inches to the left, and I always miss.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. So this is something else I thought I could see you doing. So this guy hooked up the drill, and so it's rocking the baby. So as the bit spins, it's pulling down on the little tab at the top, and so it's rocking the kid. Look at the kid; he's just super happy right there.
Yep. I think they might have. This might be a couple years old because they now have like a little like rocking thing that can just counterweight that does a similar thing. That just like has a little motor in it that just boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, and you just hang it right on the back and it bounces them.
So Kinsley and Kendall and Nora all had the crib or the swing that has just the one arm that drops down and then goes underneath them, and that had a motor, so it just kept swinging them and rocking them back and forth. And you could change the direction. Kinsley's is like really fancy. You could like change the direction so it would go this way or rock and it would go side to side. So
yeah, we had when the baby was little, we had a friend that she was a lawyer and he was a doctor, so they came from lots of money, and they were like, they actually they have a contraption that has like 8 different ways to like rock the crib, like a car seat or like up and down hills or like a kangaroo kind of. I was like, this is taking the fun out of it. You can't get any like dad hacks because you're getting all of these things that are like, I'm gonna simulate going in a car and like little bumps in the car.
but
And
you
like
totally
going
know
around
that
like
it's a dad that came up with it. So probably they saw that video and were like, "Hey, brilliant idea. Let's put this in our product." I would never do this next one because toilet seats gross me out. But putting socks on a toilet, because the kids don't like it cold. Now, all the kids like potty seats that I've seen now that either stick into the hole of your adult toilet. I've noticed they've kind of gotten away from the little separate potties. Like I've seen some where they sit on the floor, but most of them that I've seen are like an extra padded seat that goes right onto the big toilet.
Yeah. Well, I think that's transitionary. Like you have the one that like when you teach them, like you have a small one for yourself, but then when you transition over, you have like the little like inside the seat.
Okay, so
But of course,
I don't even know. There's 2 steps. I just only remember. I remember Nolan had the kind that he sat on the floor. It didn't really work, and it was one day that kid just decided that he was going to go to the bathroom, and
yeah,
that was it.
Boys are more difficult to potty train because they have an apparatus to aim with, whereas girls don't have an apparatus as such.
Nolan called it his tail.
There you go. We
Sorry,
refer
Nolan.
to it as we refer to it as pointer. So you point and shoot.
Well, they have those things that are kind of like the packing peanuts now that that dissolve too. That I've heard that people can put in the toilet, and then it makes like a game out of going pee. Apparently, with boys,
it's
so, like
Cheerios.
aim at them like it's a gun, and like it melts when they pee on them.
Well, it's Cheerios. I grew up with Cheerios.
Really?
Take a handful of Cheerios, put it in there, and then just try to push the Cheerios down the pipe.
Interesting. I didn't even know that was a thing. I just heard about these things that are like packing peanuts that dissolve.
Well, yeah. That's probably a more biodegradable way. But my dad was like, just Cheerio. We have Cheerios at the wazoo, so just throw some
Yeah,
Cheerios your way.
Cheerios dissolve anyway. I mean, that's why you give them
Eventually.
to kids. I don't even know if Kendall did that.
For a second, I thought you. For a second, all I saw was the toilet. I'm like, wait, why are we looking at your toilet?
What is that?
I think that's a heated glove.
Soft. Really?
I think that's it's like a weighted glove, which simulates like somebody like holding the baby.
That's brilliant.
It is. It is. We have a weighted blanket for our youngest boy because he is very much a touch tank
Yeah.
love language, and like we didn't notice that until like much later that like he literally has a touch tank that you need to fill up before he goes to sleep, and he wants to essentially be just smothered in his bed, so he's like hee.
Caitlin says, we got the separate potty for my cousin when she potty trained, and when her brother was born, she went looking for it thinking the newborn would need it. Well, hey, at least she was trying to be a good big sister. And I've
Yep.
noticed, like, with Kendall, it seems that she's moving through things faster. Like, she's got a pretty good vocabulary right now. No, being the number one, and down. But they seem to like move themselves along a little faster when they have older siblings to look at. So I mean, have you noticed that about your youngest where she's kind of progressing faster than the first one is because she's trying to keep up with them?
I think it depends because I mean with the baby being number 4, she has 3 older people that are gonna talk for her. Oh, she needs this. Oh, she needs this. So she's not using her vocabulary as much. It just if you just need to give the little ones opportunities to like, hey, this is what you need. You need to tell me what you need, and not have somebody else tell you. So
Use your word.
it's kind of a you could learn quicker, or I mean, she's still learning and she's picking up what the kids are saying. Like the other day, she just out of the blue, they're like 1, and she's like 1, 2, 3, and she counted up to 10. I was like, you're 2. Good
Wow,
job.
that's awesome.
I don't know if you recognize what you're doing, but you've heard repetition of 1 through 10 before, so hooray.
We're not that far yet with Kendall, so
That's okay.
the most efficient way. I love this. I've seen this 100 times, and I'm like, this is also brilliant. Dad puts the ponytail holder on the end of the vacuum cleaner, sucks the hair up in it. Boom, ponytail.
Yep. Eventually, I think I will have to do that. I defer to my wife. Like our eldest daughter has ballet every week, and she has to have her hair back in like a nice ponytail. And I'm like, somebody else will have to do it. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. I actually got a box from Sharon. I was waiting until she got in here to open it. So we're gonna pause on the dad hack. So Sharon sent me a box. I gotta have my mom, I think, help me. Sharon, correct me if I'm wrong. I can plant this, correct? So that was the point of what you sent me is I can plant this and we can grow our own. And I traded Sharon some of our chipotle powder and the chipotle and the ancho chili powder.
She says yes, you can.
We can plant this. So this is so it doesn't smell like this is a pine cone ginger. So it looks like ginger root, but it doesn't smell like lemony like you would use in culinary. And so when you plant this, I did a bunch of research on it because this is super cool. My mom's gonna have to help me plant it, and then we'll get it going up at the farm so that it can take off. I mean, these things are huge. Look at them.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, though, in case the end of the world comes around still anytime soon, these red pine cone pods that grow on them, when you get the juice out of them, it's a shampoo. It's like a natural shampoo. Let me see if I can. Pine cone.
Pine cones.
Pine cone ginger. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. And they're really pretty. Now, she lives where it's warm, so I mean, we're going to have probably a shorter growing season, and I might just pot these and see if I can get them to grow in the house. but let's stop that screen. We'll share this screen. All right. So aren't these kind of cool? These are so cool.
That is cool. That does look like a pine cone.
It does. It looks like a red pine cone, and then it's the ginger root. Basically that's what you get, and you grow them. But these things are supposedly these red cones that if they ooze this goo, if you will, and it is a natural shampoo. And I know that we've been talking about it. Yes, you can. We've been talking about like trying to do like, well, Nolan's new business venture at 10 is that he wants to do an organic veggie stand with everything from the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just like one other product that you could use, as far as not having the paraffins and all the other chemicals and everything else that are in shampoos. I want to try it out. So that's what we're hoping to do. I told my mom about it. And my mom's going to help me get these planted. I've got a couple of, actually it's in the back of the car right now. So I've got a big bucket or a planter to put it in, and it's going to stand and everything. So I'm going to try and get them going in the house, and then take some of them up to the farm too in the summertime. But I'm going to have to grow them inside until then, because obviously it's snowing. Well, it was snowing yesterday. We got 3 inches of snow yesterday. I've got them growing all over the place. They're so cool, Sharon. I mean, they really are. They're super cool. So I'm hoping that they will last. This is interesting. Yeah, look it up. Look it up, Caitlin. It's super cool. And Sharon, thank you very much. And you'll have to let me know. Oh, and Sharon, I also sent you one of the garlic bulbs that we grew. So you've got one of those in there as well. They're not very big. They're kind of little, but it's homegrown Michigan. So you got both powders and a head of garlic. You should hopefully have it in the next 2 days, if we are lucky. Okay, let's go back to dad hacks now.
Yay!
Yay! So, before we go back into this, what is your, like, if you had to say this is my greatest dad hack, this is the thing that always works for me, this is, what would yours be?
Oh, there's so many good ones. One that I find that I've taken a lot of dad hacks from my dad. Just was like, this is a good idea, and then my dad is like, yeah, I've been doing that for years. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? just things that worked for my sister and I. I don't know, and of course you tell me this, and I'm trying to think, and like none of them are coming to mind.
Are you a parent that does the bribe method? So like, if you clean your room, I'll give you a brownie kind of a thing?
I mean, we have, yeah. I mean, I know one. We often we go on scavenger hunts.
Okay.
Around like we go to Goodwill or we go to like a mall or something, and we just do scavenger hunts, and everybody needs to find the letters A through Z in the scavenger hunt. So if it's a sweatshirt or hat, and you got to get all the letters in the alphabet. It's great. It's something that doesn't cost that much. It's definitely a time consuming, so that if you need to be out of the house, or just give somebody else a break. I did that with my niece and nephew when like their van was when their mom's van was in the shop. I'm like, everybody hop in the van. We're gonna go to the mall, and I gave them like a scavenger hunt of lists. And
That's cool.
the one that was like, it was like tied, and the last one was I put in there. I'm like, find somebody in a animal skinned article of clothing, because I'm like, that should be easy. But it was like 2018, and apparently there was not a lot of people in animal skin.
The trend was not trendy.
I was like,
hey Angie, how are you? This is something I wish I would have thought of, but most of the time we had knobs, so this would only work if you have handles on your drawers. But using the yardstick to. But here's my thing: couldn't they just grab it in the middle and open all 4 at once?
Yep, I think so.
We always had those like levers on the cabinets, like where the chemicals and stuff were, that you had to like open it 2 inches,
Yep.
push down this little lever, and then open it up.
Yep.
Now, did you like do like extreme baby proofing when you had your first kid with the outlet covers? And
we did, but he wasn't that exploratory. When his brother came along, he is the explorer. He is the one that he watched and he learned how to unbuckle his chest clip at like 18 months.
Mhm.
He's like, okay, so it goes here and here, and you push and be like, unlock, yay! We're like, no, you are too small to have these things.
Oh yeah,
Hi, Roscoe.
Kendall's already getting out of Houdini, both out of the high chair and also out of her car seat.
Yeah, and especially the two of the same age. It's like you're looking at this one, like cleaning this one up, and then this one just disappears, and you're like, where'd that one go?
Where'd the hell go? I lost one.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing how quick these kids are. Like Kinsley's now starting to walk, and I keep telling, I'm like, you got to get the baby gates up, because there's basement steps and stuff like that, and and then there's the sunroom where it's a step down, and she's not doing the steps yet, and now she's she still falls because I mean basically every kid when they start walking for at least the first 3 months looks like they've been at a frat party all night when they're walking around. They're tipsy
Yep.
and falling over. And hey Tracy, how are you?
Hi, Tracy.
Yeah. So baby proofing is like, so I'm afraid of, like, the other day when we were up at Thanksgiving, I was running around. We have a hearth at the farm, and then there's a wood burning stove on it, and I was like moving everything around and putting blankets over the corners because I could just see Kendall like falling into it. Like I am like that helicopter ant with that one.
Gotcha.
The other one, and my brother's like, she's got to learn.
I mean, there's two methods. There's telling somebody the stove is hot, and then there's touching the stove and going, "Ow, that's hot." Several of my kids are, "Hey, don't touch that because it's hot." Okay, I won't. And then, much like me, when you learn, you go, "Ow," just like you don't. Oh, where is it? You don't throw knives at people.
Oh,
My sister's like, "Here's
yeah.
a knife." I'm like, "Ow."
See, my brothers weren't so much as throwing knives at each other, but they did take a blow dart gun and were shooting blow darts at the neighbor's siding. And I think the final one or two of them finally rusted through like a year ago. Yeah. And that house sold, I don't know how many times, but the neighbors, when they did that, were kind of jerks. Avoid making a scene before taking medicine. Brilliant.
Yep.
I've never tried this. I'm a, like, not to be gross, everybody, I'm a gagger. Like liquid medicine, would make me gag. I was horrible at taking that. Pills, I'm okay with, but I never ever thought about doing this. Like, so what do you do when your kids are sick and you got to get them to take medicine, especially when they don't like that?
This method, this method will probably work very well. All of my kids have been pretty well to like, hey, whatever you need to do to make me feel better, like I'm okay with it. So they're like, we're gonna give medicine. You just slowly, at least with ours, that's worked. But that's a good method. I'm sorry, that's a good method.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but I was gonna tell Lisa about this. I'm like, that is just brilliant. I'm like, you just shoot it through there. They don't know what's going on. I did like dime tap though. The grape dime tap. That was I would. It was almost like I wanted something to happen, so I take grape dime tap because I thought it was great. My oldest brother put an apple on my sister's head and threw a dart. The apple fell off. You can guess the rest. Oh no! So my middle brother, and he's gonna kill me. Good thing he never watches my show because he would kill me. So in North Carolina, there were fire ants, and my brother was obsessed with like digging up the fire ant thing, and he put them in a bucket, and then he'd take them back later or whatever. Well, he was out away from the house a little bit, and he had to do what boys do. So he dropped trowel, and when he did that, he didn't realize that a fire ant got in his pants and bit his tail, if you will. So my mom had to take him to the doctor because he swelled up like Ron Jeremy. Okay. And then we had done something stupid. My parents had like the 1980s wall sconces, the glass sconces, and it broke behind the couch. Well, my brother, for whatever reason, was crawling behind the couch, and then the kid cuts his arm and has to go get stitches. And this was like within like 2 days. And the other thing that he did, or it was either that or the other thing that he did, was he was on his big wheel and he went to pop a wheelie. And when he popped a wheelie and his head hit the brick steps in the front, and he had to go get stitches there. Like in my lifetime, I've had one stitch right here because by some lucky, somewhat angel watching over me. I was hitting a nail up against concrete and watching it pop up, but I was up over it. It didn't hit me in either one of my eyes. It hit me right in the nose. And so it was when it was bleeding, what was every pulse of my heart, it was spurting out like this. So I go, Dad, I'm bleeding. Okay, go get a band-aid. No, Dad, I'm bleeding. Okay, go get a band-aid. I'm like, no, Dad, I'm really bleeding. When he turned around, it was coming out through my fingers and it was going. My dad's all panicked. My mom comes home, gets me, takes me to the doctor, and he's like, just in case you want to be Miss America one day. Not happening. He only gave me one stitch, and it was right here in my nose. It's the only place I've ever had a stitch. Now, my brother, on the other hand, is like a champ.
Nice. Oddly enough, I had to go to the ER for the first time last week. And I was like, I had a good 34-year run, and then I have to go to the ER. Then I'm like, listen, are you going to give me an IV? And they're like, no. I said, great. This is good, because I had to do that for basic, and the guy like blew out my vein in my arm, and I'm like, no, I'm okay. Just don't give me any don't give me an IV, don't give me any. I'll be fine. I'll just.
So, do your kids generally get along, or did they do like? I mean, I've got horror stories that I could tell. So, like King Bobbert, he said, my brother used to play a game called Superman. You stand on your brother's feet, he'd roll backwards and send you flying through the air, and you hope you land on the pile of pillows. I hit the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Yeah. Our boys, we took them to a like trial of Taekwondo, and now they're convinced that they're, Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very much not so. I think I just grew up with a sister, so I never had brothers. So it was kind of like I had to go to my brother-in-law's. I'm like, is this normal? Like, are boys supposed to be like fighting and wrestling and like beating the snot out of each other? They're like, yeah, it's fine, it's good.
It happens. Okay. It happens. With Trey, because Adam and I were both older. Adam's 4 years older, I think, than Trey, and I was 7. So like my mom still was into the cloth diapers and the rubber pants, like when he was first born, because that's how we'd had him. But we would do things like shove the garden hose inside of his rubber pants and watch his pants explode like this, and he'd run around in the yard just leaking everywhere. We flew him around by his underwear. I swear, my mom says to this day, it's lucky that kid had any kids, and he's the only one with kids too. That's the crazy part. We used to belt him into laundry baskets and shove him down the steps too, because we called it a bobsled. But I mean, honestly, my poor little brother. And one day they were playing hide and seek, and Trey decided to jump into the dryer. Well, instead of finding him, my other brother just turned it on. So I get home and I come downstairs, and all I can hear is, Brandy, help me, Brandy, help me. Yeah, my little brother was going around and around and around. Teresa Newell, what's going on, my girl?
See, that's what I fear. As a sibling, you'd be like, that's hilarious. As a parent, you're like, oh no, like don't do this. No good ideas.
No, and my mom's always said, she's like, like if people were like they were today, nowadays, my parents have probably been in jail, because we were constantly hurt, but it was us doing stuff to each other and just being kids and having imaginations. I mean, we had ropes over pine trees off of hills out in the woods, and we would, fly off of those. We had a kid break his arm because he was swinging off it and came, like nowadays you'd get thrown in jail for that, but we were just being kids.
Yep.
All right, next dad hack. And Obi, thank you again for being here tonight. I really do appreciate it. I've been waiting to do this.
No problem. I just got a notification on Facebook for out of box pops. So I had to see if there was anything.
Don't waste an inch of toilet paper. I never thought to do this, and Kendall has become the one that will grab a hold of the roll of toilet paper and walk out of the bathroom through the living room into the kitchen with it.
Yep.
Are you guys especially in the pandemic when everybody had to like ration squares of toilet paper or buy bidets. Have you guys ever thought about this? Or this is taking it to an extreme.
That's taking it to an extreme, but I mean, it's definitely something that, if you show a marker, they're able to go, boom, stop here, we're good. So for structured kids, that would make sense. For other kids, they're like, it's a guideline, not really a rule.
Well, thank you, Teresa. Have fun with your bosses. I appreciate you stopping by, dear. And Trapper says, right, I definitely get that, Obi. As a brother, it would be great to see my brother in the dryer, but as a dad,
Yeah.
no.
Yep.
There's still things that my parents don't know. I finally fessed up to being the one that threw the Ninja Turtle into the brand new painted walls, but I let my brothers take the fall on that one for like 20 years.
Jeez.
Double whammy, let your kids flex their artistic skills and keep the walls clean. Again, this
Yep.
goes back to the boxes, and this is what we were talking about. And I mean, seriously, I was thinking about this year just getting Kendall a giant like washer and dryer box or something like that, and then making her a fort, because nothing I'm going to buy her now she's even going to care about in 6 months.
Yep. And then they get all that creativity. Like you were saying, you had spaceships and race cars and all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Now, do you guys have a bunch of the noisy toys, or are you like the? I saw a hack where it's like, especially when they're younger, under the age of 3, like in the dead of night, you find those noisy toys and the ones that talk, and like, was it Nora? Nora had one of those like little bicycles as a Frozen one, and every time she pressed the button, it would play "Let It Go, Let It Go," and over and over and over, and finally, we just took the batteries out and just told her that, oh, you broke it, you used it too much, and she believed it.
Yep.
So do you guys have a bunch of the noisy toys? Do you hide them when people give them to them, or?
Yes, either that or they get returned and oh no, it's somewhere else. But most of the time, like when we look for toys, we look for ones that have an on-off switch. And of course, the baby, we were at a shop the other day, and there was a Poppy from Trolls that like
Okay.
you press her wrist, and she has like 27 different things that she says, to include like a 2-minute song that she sings, and of course, there's no on-off button, so it's just kind of like, just let her finish her song, now it can go on.
I used to take all the noisemaker out. We must only Angie.
Yep.
We're the only normal ones, Angie. And no. My job now is an aunt, and I was gonna put the shirt on tonight. My aunt rules, like no bedtime, more sugar the better, kind of a thing. I specifically find toys that are noisy just to get back at my little brother. So I'm the one that buys them all that. Furbies, I hated that thing. It would come alive at night and start talking. I used to cry when my parents threw out my toys, but that one I wanted to trash. Oh, you missed the Play-Doh thing
Yep.
earlier, Angie. I ate something from the Netherlands that tasted it tasted like Play-Doh smelled. Okay, go lay down. It was not good.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of something in your aunt description that's like, well, it's not my kids, so. Oh, that's genius.
Ooh. I asked for a hoverboard for Christmas. The new one that came out from Walmart. It's like a full size one.
Mm-hmm.
I so want my brother and I to figure out how they like get enough magnets underneath it with like a metal plate and try and actually make it hover. Like I'm already thinking beyond, and my mom's just like, why? Like if you go look at my Christmas list, there's nothing adult on there. Not a thing. It is like Baby Yoda gear. I mean, that's the great thing about being in this community is we get to be big kids all the time, but
Yep.
This would be awesome. Can you imagine like putting that in the stroller, but having it like the hoverboard body on the bottom, so it looks like you're riding the hoverboard running around?
That would be fun.
Why didn't I think of this?
See, and that's the thing. You get these things and you're like, I should have thought of that. That's not that hard to construct. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
You know what that looks like? That the armature there that's on that is it looks like it's like a folding chair frame is what it looks like that they just welded to that. There we go. Point aim and shoot. There we go. We talked about that earlier. The old bedsheet hammock on. I never thought of this either.
I wouldn't trust my knots that well.
I wouldn't either.
But that'd be good if they sit still.
But they never sit still. I mean, Kendall would get in and out, in and out, in and out. She's the only one small enough that would, like sit in it. No. But we did. My brothers had bunk beds. They were kind of L-shaped. They came out like this, and we used
Mm.
to put sheets over the from the top one down, so that would be like our clubhouse tent and things. And we'd hang signs on the outside, and He-Man Women Haters Club or whatever it was. Um, but like the sheet thing, I mean, we did tents all the time. Do you do tent city and stuff with your kids all the time
Oh yeah.
with
Oh
the
yeah.
couch cushions and stuff?
They enjoy being even the 8-year-old still likes to be a burrito. You just lay out a blanket and roll them up like a burrito. And every once and again, if you could tuck it in real nice and they can't get out, it's super funny because they just run around the house.
You got to get pictures of that next time, or a little bit of video of that.
Oh well. Oh well. I think I used it as an intro. We were and I was like, I don't know if I could put this up because eventually, maybe I'll get monetized. And I don't want to like have to go back and because once I get done with the video, I upload it and then I'm like, no, I'm done with it. Um, and they were doing Baby Shark, and my youngest son thought that the glass door was open in the back, and it wasn't. And he kind of just like backed up and went whoop, right out the back into the patio. I'm like, he's fine. It just startled him.
Oh, no, that's brilliant. One of the kids, I don't remember which one. I don't know if it was Nora. I think Nora did that, ran into it. Ross, what's going on? Nice to see you, bro.
Oh! There's a dad hack with Baby Shark.
What's the dad have with Baby Shark?
So you find there's one that has Ping Fong, Baby Shark at 2x speed, and then you go and you speed it up to 2x. So you're done with Baby Shark in 15 seconds. The whole song,
Brilliant.
and the whole time you're like,
Brilliant.
tired.
Absolutely brilliant. Caitlin wants to know, have you guys seen the dude riding the motorized wheelbarrow?
No, that's
No. But if I do another redneck show, that might be one that I might, because that's an awesome thing. Keeping the kids' toys from floating away in the laundry bin. I have seen this before. This is smart because the kid can still be in the bathtub. It makes it so they can't really slide. I mean, if the smaller the laundry basket, they can't really slide under and everything. Obviously, you got to watch your kid the whole time they're in the bathtub. I'm not saying
Yep.
not to. But this keeps their from like them trying to move around and get to it and bumping their head on the spigot or anything else. So I have seen this one before. Like, do you have like one of those bins in the bathtub where you've got like mom's shaving cream and her expensive shampoo up here, and then you got like the giant bin of toys and sponges and everything else?
we have the what was, I think we have the frog now. It's a frog. It's like an open mouth. It's similar to that open mouth, and you just scoop them all up, and then it just hangs on the side. So
Yeah, the suction cups. Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law had that. Like, but it was like literally when I would give my nephew a bath, I would have to dump everything out, and he just thought it was great. But we even had like the squirters, like the tubes where you pull them, and then it was like a like a pop of water at it. He thought that was great. And we had the soap crayons too, so you could like write on the side of the tub and all that fun stuff.
That's good for kids that stay in one place. Kids that are escape artists, they're a ways away.
Did you ever have one of your kids poop in the tub?
Oh yeah.
I couldn't handle that. I would totally be the thing.
See, that's what my wife and I have. My wife and I have areas that if a kid is doing this, I will take care of it. If a kid is doing this, then she will take care of it. I'm like, if a kid's bleeding, sure, cool. Kid's throwing up, I'm not as excited, but given the choice, that's smart.
Now we don't have to worry about Nolan. Nolan will go out and he'll rake leaves, or he'll go out and help my dad. I mean, the kid is awesome. Nora not as much, but this I thought was an awesome idea because you make it a game.
Yep.
So can you get all the dust in this little square? I like to do with them is like when they were like are refusing to like clean up in the living room, the Legos are everywhere, because there's nothing worse to step on the entire world than a Lego.
Yep.
Worst pain ever. But I'll do okay. Let's see who goes faster, and then I'll time them. So then it's a competition between the two of them, and then they race around and get it all done because they're competing against each other. They don't realize that I just suckered them into doing a chore. I hope you're not listening, you two. But like doing it that way, I've never thought about doing this where Can you get all of those? Because that's just painter's tape, so it would come up really
Yep.
easy.
Yep. We would. I mean, we would do that. We would. The incentive would be to do a dance party, so we'd have to clean up all of the space in the living room to be able to do the dance party because we don't want to. Unless.
I thought this is brilliant.
That is.
And this is something else I could see you doing to your kids. If I'm lost, please call. Here's my number.
Yep.
If you're well, think about it. Like when we were kids, like you didn't see the same types of things. I mean, I'm sure it happened, but again, there wasn't so much social exposure of like the pedophiles and everything else. I mean, we were out running around until it got dark, until either someone screamed dinner time or the streetlights came on. That was like
Yep.
the trigger point of when you had to be home, was when the streetlights came on. But I thought this was hilarious. I was like, my dad's
That's
name is
genius.
Toby. Call this number. Take
Yep.
me drunk, I'm home.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I thought this was funny, and because you know how kids love temporary tattoos.
Yep.
I don't think you would ever let your kid get out of sight where they might need to use that. But where I did think that it could be beneficial is like if you went to like Disney World or like one of those big theme park things where kids can tend to escape.
Yep.
This might be a handy little feature.
And I will not put my child on a leash. That is for
No.
dogs. I will not put my child. But there's so many people that are like we were at a farmer's market on Saturday, and because it was Small Business Saturday, and of course you need to go local. And there was a grandpa that had a kid on a leash, and my youngest kid comes up. He's like, why do you have that kid on a leash? He's not a dog. I'm like, true, but maybe we back over here. Look, there's stuff over there.
But it always made me stare at those poor kids, and because they were usually trying to like it would be like an SNL clip, like literally they were at the end of the trying to run and get away, and then they had this like monkey or panda backpack on the back, and I
Yep.
was just like, you would stare at them like, what's wrong with your kid that you have to put him on a leash?
Yep.
Not what's wrong with the parents, like what's wrong with your kid? And then you're like looking at them like.
But see, then you have siblings. They found that, and one of them will put the backpack on, give the handle to somebody else, and then they just bungee cord, just run, boom, run, boom.
Except when they snap back, they don't always land on their feet.
No.
Well, we got about 7 minutes until Eric and Sassy are going on. I just wanted to thank you for taking the time. I know that you've been super busy and with school and everything. And again, I appreciate all the support, with the t-shirts. I was going to wear the shirt from the Death Notes thing, except I forgot to throw it in the dryer, so it's still wet.
That one.
Yeah, there you go.
Death Note
Yeah,
sticker.
so I was going to wear my red t-shirt, but I forgot to put it in the dryer, so I didn't get to do that. But thank you, my friend, for coming tonight and sharing your dad wisdom. If you guys need fatherly advice, because he has perfect children, I mean, they get along so well, I would reach out to Obi. I'm going to continue to be the aunt that puts sugar in them and sends them home. So everybody, I don't know about next Tuesday. I'm going to try for next Tuesday, but I don't know how my work schedule is going to be. And I'm working. I got to be at the office for most of next week, and it's an hour and a half from my house. So I don't know if I'll be on next Tuesday. I'm going to try. It might be a last minute thing. So everybody take care. I will be running the shorts every single day. So the advent calendar and everything else. I'm also, the first day tomorrow, I'm premiering the video for an AOK from Geeky Mama Bear that I can't get to load for whatever reason. So I'm just going to premiere it during that. So thank you again, my friend. Any last words of advice?
Cabbage.
Cabbage.
It's a good word.
It is a great word. All right, everybody, go check out Eric and Sassy. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.
Bye.